everything is so dependent on money. It's so integral to everything we do. I think it's just as important as reading and writing.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good night. I'm not actually aware of what time of day you're actually consuming this content due to the World Wide Web of the luxury of being able to connect with people worldwide. My name is Bob Corey, and I do a lot of streams on Reddit. And many times when I do my live streams, I actually record the audio, which pretty much give people that miss the session time to pretty much listen to it within a car, with their family, at the park, or what have you. This morning, we actually talked about small blessings and also how we should respect money by its small attributes. What if it's pennies? What if it's nickels? What if it's dimes? Whatever it is, in order for something to become big, we have to be amazing stewards of the small. Check it out. I was speaking with an individual by the name of Charles Stern, who runs a YouTube channel by the name of Red Blue Talk. His approach to finances, his understanding of finances are very amazing. And I most definitely would like to share this audio with you guys because it was a blessing to me, hoping it will be a blessing to you. Enjoy the show. Chino 1229. Thank you for joining. Thank you for everybody who's pretty much sharing their perspective. It's Maury 17.
Call from
Charlie.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
How's it going, Charlie?
What's shaking? So are you on live right now?
I am on live right now. I had a call 4 a.m. of an individual telling me about how he's turning a new leaf. And along with this new leaf, he's realizing that he's going to have to let a lot of things go. But he's been so appreciative of the small things. But it's to the point now where he doesn't have room for them, and he's looking for a place to bless other people with. But him appreciating the small things got him to where he's at now. And I was just so inspired by the message. I pretty much want to get on here and just live stream.
Well, I heard that lady call in from United Kingdom, and I think that she had a very positive outlook, very positive vibe.
Excellent. Well, would you like to introduce yourself, Charlie, if you don't mind? I would love for the people to pretty much know who you are.
Sure. So my name is Charlie, and I'm developing a podcast and a vodcast, and I've become fast friends with Corey, and kind of understand how things work on Reddit a little bit, and I guess you're like the mayor of Reddit.
No, I think with me, I think I'm pretty much just a guy who just had a camera and just decided to, talk to people. But I will say this. I don't want to get deep. If you don't mind, I will most definitely like to do, I guess you saw like a micro run of your knowledge and what you're able to pretty much bring to the table. If you're cool with that, I'll love to open that door. If not, I'm cool with that as well. You cool with it?
I'm happy. Would be delighted,
Okay.
Corey. I'd be delighted. I mean, by way of a little bit of background, I'm interested in developing a podcast and a video podcast talking about technology, personal finance issues, because I have found that a lot of my personal friends have gaps in their knowledge that were left behind by not really having a lot of financial education in high school or college.
Okay.
And they're constantly asking me questions, and it seems like there's this tremendous pent-up demand for basic information about how the economy works, how finances work, how banking works.
Right.
That's the broad swath of a topic.
Okay, got you.
That I'm trying to aim for. So, yeah, be delighted to talk to you.
Okay, cool. Check it out. I do want to ask this question right here, just as the first caller actually mentioned. She mentioned about career very, very heavy. And I guess like this morning, as I was inspired to understand and to appreciate the small things. And I think with myself, which I'm very much guilty, that's why I'm pretty much talking about this morning, is the fact that everybody think money pretty much makes them happy. But I'm coming to the conclusion, as if like myself, that is not the case. Just being responsible with the few that you make leads to a form of happiness. It's pretty much having the free will and exercising, being a good steward of what you're blessed with is the road to happiness. Is that primarily how finances really work, instead of us chasing the big paying job when we could just work a basic job and just being very disciplined with it can end to a amazing financial life?
I'll tell you what I think. I think you're asking a very philosophical question. I
Okay.
think you're asking a question that does not have one single answer.
Gotcha.
But I can tell you from my perspective, which is all I can really bring. Okay, I'm not this is not certified financial advice. I'm not an attorney, but I'm just a guy who has lived through a bunch of these things.
Right.
I think you're 100% correct. I
Gotcha.
think that there is no question in my mind, and it's something that I actually have understood for a really long time, which is that money matters, because I think what money does, let's talk about what money does and what it does not do.
Okay.
Money buys options.
Okay.
Money buys options for you, but money definitely does not, in and of itself, make a person happy. It can't. If you're a miserable person and you have lots of money, you're going to be a miserable person with lots of money.
Right.
And that is, I am sure that is true, because I've experienced it firsthand, and I've also seen that experience through the eyes of so many other people that I know. So let me go back to the options part.
Gotcha.
What I mean when I say money buys options is this. I'm sort of privileged, okay? I grew up upper middle class person, and there was never a shortage, okay? I've really consistently I've been very fortunate, and I've lived to a degree with some abundance. Now, not to say I grew up like a Rockefeller or anything.
Understand.
But there was always food in the refrigerator. There were 2 cars in the garage. There was enough of everything.
Right.
And I know so many people that did not have that experience. And it's a heck of a struggle.
Wow.
When you don't have enough.
Right.
There's just no question about that. Everything in your life is harder. Everything is much more challenging. Every bump in the road is a bigger bump if you don't have, means, if you don't have resources.
Right.
But if you do have some resources, you begin to have options. So you can say, I want to do this instead of that. I want to study a particular discipline, or I want to travel,
Right.
or I want to visit another country. If you have some money, you have some options.
Right.
You can do other things. So I think of money as just buying options. But if you're foundationally not inside your own brain a happy, well-adjusted person, the money could actually make it worse.
Right. That is amazing. So let me add another thing too. Just as you said, money buys options. It could pretty much put you in a position that can make you a position that you always desire to be in. A position that pretty much you were supposed to be in. But as you were speaking that, it made me really think about, a lot of people may go to school and they are designed to be able to fulfill a position, but they're not educated to how to handle their rewards, which is their finances, within the position that they secure, And is this something that pretty much is supposed to be taught within? It's not the school's responsibility. Who's pretty much at fault with this? Would you not necessarily make it a fault or blame, but this is something that need to be taught within the households, most definitely, correct?
So I have 2 answers to that one. I am of the opinion that a certain degree of financial education absolutely is the responsibility of the school system. And let me tell you why I say that.
Okay.
Because we live in a world where everything is so dependent upon the financial system. Everything is so dependent on money. It's so integral to everything we do. I think it's just as important as reading and writing. I think it's part of literacy,
Right.
frankly. In fact, they refer to teaching about money as financial literacy. And I really believe that there should be at least a unit on money at every single grade level.
Right.
When you're in 1st grade, you should understand, something very basic about money.
Right.
the difference between a nickel, dime, and a quarter. Maybe that's all you need when you're in the first grade.
Correct.
Okay? When you're in the 5th grade, maybe you should learn what a bank account is and how to get a bank account. When you're in the 10th grade, maybe you should learn what a certificate of deposit is. I don't know exactly what that answer is, but I'm not the only one saying, and there are curriculum out there that are available. And I have to be fair, there is some financial education in schools,
Right.
just not nearly enough. And the reason why I say that is because I personally know so many people in their 20s and 30s, and I'm 55, by
Right.
the way,
Right.
who they just have huge gaps. They have enormous gaps. They don't have a really good sense of where money comes from, how those big buildings downtown get built. They have no clue. And then down to the details of their own personal financial lives.
Right.
They don't know kind of how to handle it. And that leads to not always the best decisions, which means ultimately, what does it mean? It means fewer options.
Right.
Fewer options than you have. And that's a shame. It's a shame to have, a few options, but you're not exercising any of them because you just don't know what they're in front. So that's number one. Number one, I think there absolutely needs to be a large degree of financial education in public schools. That's number one.
Okay.
That will help to close some of those knowledge gaps. And then you asked at the end of your question, should we be teaching it at home? Of course we should.
Yeah,
be.
absolutely.
But here's the thing. Not everybody has the same experience at home. Not
You're right about
everybody's got a mom or a dad who necessarily has a steady W-2 income. Not everybody's got a mom or a dad that understands the banking world and all that stuff.
Right.
And so, but here's the deal. There are some sharp edges that people get caught on, and credit is the number one. Credit is, I think, the most poisonous thing in the world. And without a financial education, without a really clear understanding of what a credit card is, it's easy to get into trouble. And I know so many people who've had that experience, and they're smart people, and they're people with college degrees and lots of options, and they still get caught in the credit trap.
Okay. Amazing. I do want to ask you this. The first question was, does money brings happiness? We solved that. Now I want to ask you this. Does money bring power? Even though I know you, that may be a substitution with you with options. So what is the power associated with money that at times when an individual comes to a form of abundance, sometimes they're able to handle it and they're not being able to handle it? What is the common denominator in the midst of those two individuals that the power that's pretty much need to be there to handle that type of money? You know what I'm saying? What is the power associated with money?
So, okay, Corey, this is why I like talking to you, because you go straight for the deep, deep questions.
Right. It's cool.
And I'll do my best to present an answer. This is my own individual perspective on this, okay? You're asking about the linkage between money and power, but you wove a word into the middle of it that I found very interesting, which is responsibility.
Right.
So I think money brings a degree of power. It can bring individual power,
right.
Because money buys options. I think we agree on that. Money buys options. Options, one of the things you can buy with your money is a degree of personal, self-determination.
Right.
And that can be converted into power to a degree. Now, if you're talking, power can mean many different things, right? So power can mean control over your own life.
Right.
And I say that not frivolously, because I know people who, there's no way to sugarcoat it. I know people who, had no money. They had no money, had no means whatsoever. And one of the things that they complained about or experienced firsthand was feeling powerless. Feeling like they couldn't get ahead of it. They could never get ahead of the bills. They could never get ahead of the next emergency. They could never get ahead of, getting a flat tire is a big problem if you don't have a $5 bill in your back pocket.
Right.
You know, and so if you can get ahead of that feeling, I think that's power. Okay.
Got you.
But
Got
now
you.
let's ramp that up a little bit. Okay. Let's suppose, you're in your 20s, you're doing a little better, you got a good paying job, you got more work than you know what to do with, and now you've got some more options. Can you convert that into real power? I think the answer is yes,
Right.
because you've got the ability now. Now you're starting to think about, well, I can buy a house. And if I've got a house and I can choose where I live, I have a degree of control over my environment. Let's take it a little bit further. Okay, there was a point in my own life when I decided I wanted to run for the school board.
Okay.
And I was able to do that because I had sufficient means. I had a steady job. School board, by the way, where I live, there's no salary. It doesn't pay anything. But I was able to scrape together a few spare dollars and use that to run for office.
Right.
Well, I think that's converting money into power.
Right. That is amazing.
And every politician you can think of did the same thing.
Right.
At some point, if they didn't have their means themselves, they raised those means, they raised that money, and they used it to convert it into power by running for office, where you do have, real legislative power.
Right.
So I think the answer to your question is absolutely. In America, money buys power.
Okay, awesome. So I know I most definitely want to get into the meat and come to you most definitely humble, because I want to learn a lot of stuff from you as well. There's one more question I want to get out the way before I pretty much go into, I guess you say, my spending habits. I'm going to put myself on the chopping block and hoping somebody else can relate to this, where they can start cleaning up their act. Time and money. What I've come to the understanding, there was a time when I was working a job. I valued the job. But once I start to miss time with my family, I start to then understand. And I had already made a couple investments. The videography business was one. I also do merch design and things of marketing as well. But I got to a place after working for somebody for a while, I had realized I had made some awesome purchases. But in the midst of those purchases, by me not being able to spend time on my business, by me not being able to learn the equipment, I realized working a job at that particular time, it wasn't pretty much going to work in my favor for the direction I was trying to take my life in. Time and money. How, if we don't respect our time, we're not going to be able to have no money. And if we so busy chasing money, we're never going to have any time. And I do understand, coming from an individual such as you, Charlie, I know you're going to talk about balance. Please share that with me. How do you balance the two between time and money? Like some people work a job that pays $300,000, but they have no time for their kids. And I feel as if money should not put you in a place of being a bondage. Please, share some perspective on that for the viewers.
Yeah. Well, so listen, I noticed that something that shows up in the popular media, it shows up on social media a lot, is this notion about trading time for money. Like
right.
If you're working at an ordinary job, you're just trading time for money. There is kind of some truth to that.
Right.
But I think that it doesn't maybe come from a completely holistic place, because
I agree.
No, everybody's trading time. We're all trading time for money. I mean, if you're working for yourself, you have a successful business, you're still trading time for money,
right?
But you're making choices. If you're exerting a degree of control over your own options,
right,
then that trade-off is probably a pretty good bargain.
Gotcha.
Nobody has an answer to the question that you asked, which is how do you balance it? Nobody. I'm 55. I haven't figured out how to balance it. The only thing I will tell you is this.
Yeah.
The only thing I can say is the lady who called in before me from the UK.
Right.
She said something, not in these words, but she said something in essence, which is a job is like, it can be an invitation to work yourself to death.
Oh wow, man, I never heard it like
A
that.
job. Well, that's what I heard. That's what came to mind for me when she was talking. She was like,
Wow.
"Look, I do it." I think she said she had been doing a job and she was successful, but always thinking about what's the next job, what's the next job, what's the next, and she felt like it was like a treadmill.
Okay. Awesome.
And if it's like, if you feel like a hamster on a wheel, then that's very unfortunate. And there are going to be, the only thing I can tell you from my perspective, there are going to be periods of time in your life when you are a hamster on a wheel, and I don't think anybody can avoid that.
Right.
It's unavoidable.
Okay.
There are going to be periods of that. But if that's your only way of living, then that's where you get into burnout and depression and all kinds of other problems, which can really impact your family and everything else. So I guess the answer is everybody draws the line in a different place, and you got to draw that line and you don't draw it once. You draw it over and over and over time, and you make adjustments because, like one of the things you mentioned in your question was, how do you balance it with your family and so on? And, the answer is going to be different when your daughter is 5 years old than when she's 20.
Right.
Those two different age groups require a different amount of attention from a parent. So you can if you can, try to make adjustments that are, appropriate to your individual situation. And that's the best I can offer you this morning.
Gotcha. Okay. I do now. I feel as if. Thank you for the response. I do want to most definitely being able to highlight your expertise when it comes down to finances, and I want to come to you extremely humble because I want to be very relative, or to be able to be relatable to the people that's pretty much watching. Okay, my name is Corey Collins. I live check to check. I know recently we talked about stocks, but we kind of came to the conclusion like we can't even get to stocks if the individual who's receiving the check don't even respect the small portion of their check, or they have these bills that continuously is going out of their pocket instead of going in their pocket. And we talked about the cell phone. If you don't mind, I would most definitely love to open that door for us, the advice.
Sure.
The advice you're giving me. Okay, for those who don't know, I pay like $150 for my cell phone bill. Tied in with that as well is my wife's phone. So our bill is probably like $300 a month. One of the biggest issues I've always had with me was data. And the reason why I chose the phone that I have is because when I have clients, sometimes I may have to send a video through my phone, which would eat up a average bill data. And then that's an extra $15. What is a good solution from you being able to be financially sound? What would you do in this particular case right here? And there may be some people having the same situation.
Cell phones suck money out of people. That's all there is to it, right?
Gotcha.
I can't believe people. So here's the deal. I got a high phone bill just like you described.
Right.
And here's the only cure I can come up with is you got to be really, really careful about how you use data on your mobile phone.
Okay.
Because data is by far, hands down, the most expensive thing. Okay, the cell phone company wants you uploading and downloading videos all day. They want you streaming, and your phone is constantly chattering even when you're not using it. It's sharing location data. It's sharing updates on software. It's doing all kinds of things in the background. And if you are on 4G or 5G while it's doing those things, you are consuming your monthly allotment of bits of data.
Right.
That's what you want to try to avoid. So I have a few things to suggest that kind of worked for me.
Right.
That can at least bring the cell phone bill slightly more under control. The number one thing is figure out the settings on your phone so that you minimize the number of applications that are talking in the background on a constant basis, because there's a setting in there that allows you to specify that you should only download data when it's on Wi-Fi.
Gotcha.
And you can do that application by application. So there's no reason why you need to be getting Facebook and Instagram updates while you are on mobile.
Right.
You want to do that stuff on Wi-Fi. So tip number 2 is configure your phone so that you all automatically switch over to Wi-Fi when you're in your house.
Mm-hmm.
So you will automatically switch over to Wi-Fi when Wi-Fi is available. Like
Gotcha.
most stores today have Wi-Fi. Or you go to Target, got Wi-Fi. But
Gotcha.
you got to set up your phone so that it automatically switches over. Otherwise, you're going to be consuming your cellular data plan all the time, and that's really expensive. And when you run over your monthly allotment, like I've got Verizon Wireless, when you run over your monthly allotment on your plan, it's not unlimited. So they're going to charge you like $15 for the extra gigabyte that you use. If you use 2 gigabytes extra that month, it's $30, and that adds up because the tax on top of everything on a cell phone bill is like more than 18%.
Gotcha.
Incredibly high.
Okay. Gotcha.
So try to use Wi-Fi whenever possible, because with Wi-Fi, most people do have some type of an unlimited or fairly unlimited plan. Somebody in the comments just mentioned 5G. I don't have a degree in 5G, but I would say this to you about 5G. Unless you have some really data-hungry application, I don't see why you necessarily even need 5G. Because I stream video on my phone all the time. I stream, stuff on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube TV and CNN on my phone all the time. I don't have 5G.
Gotcha.
I'm doing all that over Wi-Fi and 4G. It works fine. So unless there's a really compelling reason, I would stay away from 5G unless you have an exact reason for it. Why pay the extra money? That's another suggestion. So suggestion 1, configure your phone to use Wi-Fi when it's available. Number 2, you got to build up the discipline to always be on Wi-Fi, and just you got to think of your 4G connection as like a connection to the internet of last resort, because it is by far the most expensive, and I think that'll help you.
Okay,
that'll help you get the cell phone bill under control. And the other thing you can do is look for a better plan.
Right.
That's the other thing.
You told me about it.
A few years ago, it was like certainly I live in New York, you had to use Verizon Wireless if you wanted good voice service because they had more cell towers than anybody.
Right.
In 2021, that's number one, that's no longer the case. And number 2, you don't need voice as much. Like, I don't really talk on my cell phone all that much. I don't know about you.
I don't. I really don't. For real. I don't. Throughout the day, I'm pretty much, it don't went to actually streaming stuff or watching stuff. It's become the TV instead of an actual phone now.
That's right.
So, okay.
I completely agree.
Another thing, too, along with the cell phone, we also mentioned, too, there are times, I guess, me being a consumer, that I'm attached to having the latest. I'm attached to be able to show a client I'm up on point when it comes down to technology or me, how to deliver your video, any things of that nature. But what I've noticed is at the end of the day, in business, you want to be able to turn a profit, and you want to be able to turn a profit so you can put something that you made aside to have an awesome life for the future. There are times that I guess being a consumer, it's hard to let go the latest thing. But at the same time, it's like you want your cake and eat it too. It's like, how is it that you pretty much jump on this financial plan makeover or whatever it is? What is it that you have to promise yourself, or what is it that you have to look forward to be able to assassinate that consumer monster, to be able to have a prominent future, not just for you, not just for your wife, not just for even your kids, but for your kids' kids and their kids' kids. Go ahead. You got the flow. Go ahead.
Once again, you are asking the existential questions, Corey, and that's that word consumerist is so powerful, because that's why I think to some degree I think that's why people really struggle financially, because we live in a world where we're bombarded with advertising. The advertising may be artificially increasing our interest in buying things we kind of don't need all that much.
Right.
And so it's a question of taking back control. And so when you make a consumer decision to buy something, you're exerting your power as a consumer.
Mm.
But I would suggest to you that when you make a decision to not buy something, you are also exerting your power. And I think that the more you exert the no, the better.
Right.
You got to figure out a way. I constantly try to figure out ways that I can keep the money in my pocket. Do I really need this thing? Do I really need this thing? And you go buy a car. You go to buy a car. They're going to try to sell you a dozen things on top of the car. Stripes, bigger wheels, this, that, the other. Do I really need that stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, well, some of it I do need. Like floor mats would be a nice thing to have. But I don't necessarily need, a roof rack capable of supporting skis because I don't ski.
Right. Wow, man. It's all about the look.
You just got to use your brain, and you got to realize that that somebody on the other side of that transaction is trying to sell you something that might be better for them than it is for you.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Let me ask another question.
So,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, one more question, because at 8 o'clock I got to go and make.
Okay, cool. All right, check it out. I was doing a calculation on the $30 a month that we pretty much can cut out for us with the phone bill, and I multiplied that by actual 12 months, which comes up to $360. I know you actually got to go, but just to give people an understanding of the shrewdness that you pretty much have for us finances, what do we do with this $360? What plan can we put behind this $360 that will pretty much do something for us for the future? Or what habit can it what seed can it plant for a great habit for the kids? What would you do before you go?
Great question. Since this is like the lightning round of this conversation, my quick off-the-cuff answer is going to be find a vehicle to save for college and throw it in there. That would be my answer. So, quick answer: you have a young child. You want to set up a 529 plan.
Okay.
529 plan is a college savings account that allows you to save money. It's like a custodial account in the name of the child, and they can, when you make those deposits, they can accrue interest. You can invest it in stocks. You can invest it in bonds. You can invest it in money market accounts. You can put it into whatever you'd like, and it will stay in the name of the child until they need it for college expenses, as long as it's an authorized college expense, which is like tuition, room and board, anything related to college. It then comes out, and it is not taxed. Got
you. Charlie.
Yep. So
let them know what you got to offer. I know it's 8 o'clock. Let them know who you are. Tell them where to follow you. Tell them your subreddit, and so they can most definitely tie into you. Because I'm going to be learning some stuff from you, bro. I'm going to just be honest with you. Go ahead. Let them know.
Well, listen, first of all, thank you for having me on here. It's been a delight and a privilege to speak with you, Corey. I sincerely appreciate that. My subreddit is /u/cstern917. You can probably find it in the chat stream here. And you can look at my YouTube page, which is currently youtube.com/redbluetalk. But I'm creating a whole new situation, Corey, which I need to talk to you about.
It's cool.
Sidebar. And it's going to be a video podcast where I'm going to talk about finance and technology and all this great stuff. So really a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on this morning. I enjoyed talking with you.
Thank you for talking to the broke people turning them rich at the same time. Blessings to you and your family, Charlie, man. Thank you for blessing the entire stream. Blessings to you.
Thank you. Same to you, Corey. Be well. Bye.
All right, take care. Man, what do you got to say about that? Charlie, thank you very much, man. Thank you for pretty much tuning in. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to even kind of pretty much like give people a taste of what's to come. Not for my stream, but most importantly, for your stream. Not for my subreddit, but most importantly, your subreddit. Everybody get Charlie a hand, man. We're gonna give him 2 more. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you. We got to get a cash money sign. We got to get like the cash money sound for Charlie, man. So look, just as Charlie said, you got to be very, very shrewd about the cell phone bills. The cell phone bill currently right now is taking a lot of the small blessings. When I say blessings, the small little coins. It's taking away the small amount of power that you're not really recognizing that can put you in a place for having an awesome future. Shout out to Charlie one more time. Okay, cool. Also, thanks for everybody that pretty much gave blessings, man. I guess you say for, what is this? Hold on one second. What is that? The Itzes. Thank you for the rewards, yo. Thank you very much. Shout out to Canada. Shout out to Canada. I gotta show love. I gotta most definitely get everybody that been showing love. Shout out to Perp36. Thank you for the award. Shout out to Meadow Flow giving goals. Thank you. Most definitely, Charlie. What I'm gonna do? I know you probably already got your name in there. I'm going to most definitely go over take a lot of these gifts, and I'm gonna come over there and gift you. To most definitely put your stream out there. Who else gave? Who else showed love? I think that's it. Okay, shout out to Bob Jungle Deaf. Yeah, Bob Jungle Deaf. Thank you for the award, yo. Somebody said gratitude is very important. I agree with that 100%. Okay. Now check it out. I gotta pretty much like be very, very open. I do not respect money to a certain degree. But after having a nice discussion with Charlie last night, he most definitely, not even, and the way he did it was so generous, He pretty much, like gave me a plan. If you do this, it then allow you to do this. And when you do that, it's going to bring this. You can't skip steps, You have to respect, which is parallel with, you have to appreciate the small aspects of life. You have to appreciate the nickels. You have to appreciate the dimes, And when you have a respect for it, you're not willing to allow it to be sacrificed as much. You know what I'm saying? It's more about, like he used the word rational. You have to be very rational, you know what I'm saying? With not just your financial decisions, with your decisions in general, exercising. Because you can be very good on making good decisions when it comes down to finances. But if you make bad health decisions, you're going to spend all that, the money that you save, into your health. I'm currently 37 years old. Currently right now, I'm still looking for a gym membership. But at the same time, rationally thinking, do I really need to spend another $30? Do I, in other words, how you always say, is this something I need to do? Do I need to pretty much develop the habit of exercising first before going to the next level of going to a gym membership? Because at the end of the day, like, for example, that $30 added with the $30 we talked about with the finances, that's $60. The $60 times 12, I think it's what, 720? Let's do the math on it. Let's do the math. Let's most definitely, let's check out the math on that. Okay, it was $60 times 12 equals $720. Thank you. Nice refrigerator. It came with the house when we bought it. Thank you very much for the house. The comment on the house. $720. And he said with that, you can then put it within a 529 plan. It's the small things that we're overlooking. It's going to pretty much push us in a position to have options, which is associated with power. It's the small things. I most definitely like to go into the comments. I'm for to end this stream. I got to be honest. I'm so thankful that we have had this audience here for a while. I want to tell you guys, I thank you guys most definitely. If you don't mind, I just want y'all to know you guys are an awesome crowd. Thanks for you guys' consistency. Primarily maybe the content, but I always be very clear on these streams. As I grow, I would love to share something that it can help you grow, Blessings to every last person in here, man. It's most definitely awesome. If you guys do not mind, if you can, later on, message me. What is it that you guys would like for me to continuously put on this stream? Most definitely, I gotta have Charlie back. Charlie's the man, you know what I'm saying? He's awesome, very generous, and he's very upfront and straight to the point. Straight to the point. Thanks. Okay, there's a plan that I think Charlie's actually linked below. He's most definitely still in the building. He's doing his thing, you know what I'm saying? So if you guys don't mind, this is what I want you guys to do. I want you to really look at yourself. Accept the responsibilities. Not the responsibility, well, your actions. And be very honest with yourself. Am I happy where I'm at? Am I really happy where I'm at? Or let's not even say that because I don't want to associate the happiness with the money because we can pretty much lose traction there. Let's say this. Have I been responsible with what I've been blessed with? It may be money or time. Have I been responsible with my time? Am I spending a little too much time on Instagram? Am I eating a little too much fast food? You know. Am I neglecting some of the things of the house? Which I am. I've been neglecting some things of the house. What do I want to change about this mindset that I have? And if I could change my mindset behind these decisions that I'm making, that's going to lead to happiness. The result of it, you being able to witness it, you understanding that I have pretty much changed for the best. And when I changed, my money changed. When I changed, the look of my house changed. When I changed, the quality of the laugh from my kids changed. This is nothing that I can answer for you. This is something that you're going to have to ask and answer yourself. They say look into the mirror. Be honest with you, bro. You ain't got to look into the mirror now. You don't have to do that. You know how to say look into the mirror? No. Go look at your bank account. Look around your house. You can see it. You don't have to look into the mirror. No. Let's put it in our face. Let's get that income statement and let's print it out and let's put it in our face. You know what I mean? Let's put it in our face. Am I working a job that I know I can pretty much, make more? It ain't a job. It ain't the money that pretty much that associate my happiness with, but I just know I can offer more. It's time to grow, but we can't grow until we respect the little, because it's the little that makes a lot. It's the little that makes a lot that influence the decision making. Y'all be blessed, man. Check it out. I am from Atlanta, Georgia. There's a lot of opportunity here. But with the wrong mindset, you can throw away opportunity. We could throw away the pennies. We could throw away the nickels. Now, let's start to shift our mindset to respect the pennies, to respect the nickels, to respect the finance charges. I will take any questions, but most definitely, show's coming to the end. I can let the jazz run for like another 5 minutes, and I'm gonna get up out of here because I'm very, very excited. The thing about it is this right here. When you meet people that specialize in certain things, it's best to listen and to take heed, But the thing about it is, if you can't respect the person's presence, the person's time that they're willing to invest to share a form of knowledge, what if it's finances, socialism, or anything that could pretty much add a form of value in your life, you don't respect the small things because it's all free. All you have to do is pretty much just listen. Think about it, yo. Like really, really, really think about this. Like what I'm saying. And to be honest with you, I know many of you guys are going to associate this with a sales pitch, and that's cool. Cost you nothing here. Only thing that cost you was time. If this stream pretty much add a form of value to have an awesome understanding what's to come, hit the follow button. If the gentleman spoken, which is by the name of Charlie, added a form of value to your life, and you have a respect of the things that he was saying, send him a message. Follow them. Costs you nothing. It add value to your life. Once again, go back to what we was talking about. Rationalize decisions. Is this something that I want, or is this something that I actually need? We can cover ourselves up and we can make it look as if we're not struggling at all. We can make it look as if we have an awesome ball card. And when I say ball card, I'm talking about an income statement. I'm talking about your health. I'm talking about, in other words, the facts that you cannot ignore because it speaks for itself. No, you don't have to stand in front of it with your iPhone. You don't have to stand in front of it with the clean haircut and the nice shoes to look like things are being taken care of. Which is myself. Which is myself. If you understand the value where you can be by receiving the knowledge, why wouldn't you follow? Think about it. I'm out of here. Y'all be good. Y'all take care. Y'all be blessed. Any messages, anybody that are pretty much giving me a form of reward, this thing I actually do, I'm pretty much going to send you a message. And I'm going to thank you for following and also for even rewarding. For those who pretty much do reward, I like to allow them to call like 10 minutes after the cast. Like if after the cast you just want to talk, hey man, I love the show. Shit was awesome. It was amazing, man. You know, I'm thinking about leaving Verizon because the fuckers keep charging me so much on this phone that I just bought. You know, I was thinking about what Charlie said. I don't even use 5G. It's just only thing different is the phone bigger. Just give me a call. It's cool. 10 minutes after the show. I'm cool with that. But at the end of the day, it's time to pretty much eliminate the form of the consumer mindset and let's be a little more frugal. Let's be more shrewd. Let's be good stewards of what we're blessed with, you know, because what you spending, somebody else is saving. I know we all pretty much heard that before, you know. Some people using some content and they're using the knowledge and they're getting ahead. And some people just use it for entertainment, which is cool too, because we all have the free will to position ourselves where we're going to be at. Y'all be blessed. I'm good. And I'm out of here. I got to do my hand claps because my hand claps make you feel so good. You know what I'm saying? I thank y'all for pretty much being here. For those, like I say, who don't know, go by the name of Corey. Y'all can pretty much check my streams. Sometimes I'm everywhere, you know, but this has been a most definitely awesome stream. Message me. I'm out.